Today's show, we're talking about a lot of news here. Training camp for the rookies starts tomorrow, and then a couple days after, training camp is full on with the rest of the team as the veterans come in. So we're going to give you that training camp information that you want to know. We're going to talk about Penei Sewell because he was disrespected. We'll get into that one. Jahmyr Gibbs' role on this offense, the expansion. I want to break it down a little bit more than what I did before. Position battles as we're entering camp. I want to give you what SI.com believes their position battles are to watch as they're in the camp. And we're going to talk about the Lions wide receiver room, how it's extremely kick butt. But before we get into today's video, if you could do me a favor and smash that like button. If we get to 200 likes in this video, that would be grandioso. That would be awesome. I would appreciate it. Informational Lions training camp. These are the days that the Lions camp are open to you folks, the fans. If you want to go to training camp, these are the days you're going to want to do it. Now, make sure that it's a full-on practice. Sometimes it's like a 45-minute practice without even pads on. You don't want to go there and have that happen. That would be butt cheeks. Where do you get those tickets? Well, you got to get them by today. July 15, head to DetroitLions.com training camp, schedule, and grab yours. Don't be late because tickets are claimed really quick. It's really difficult to get in there. Not used to be that way, obviously, as the Lions weren't that great of a team, but it is definitely different now. So if you want to get in there, go to those dates, check the dates you want to get out, and make sure you check those dates and the length of the practice so you don't get screwed. Are you going to Lions training camp? Y for yes and for no. Let's go ahead and get into what a former lineman, Mitchell Schwartz, talked about Penei Sewell. He said, "Whoever is writing Sewell's PR firm needs a raise," Schwartz posted. "I don't care how good of a run blocker you are. Being an average or above average pass blocker means you aren't the best at the side or the second best overall tackle. Everyone's going to think I hate Sewell. I don't. I still think he's the second best right tackle to me. He's just not good enough to be getting accolades he's praise currently getting." He says, whoever is running Sewell's PR firm. That's what he's saying about Sewell. That's what's going on. Well, Mr. Mitchell Schwartz, I want to tell you who's running the PR firm. Here's who's running the PR firm. The players from the Detroit Lions team and 31 other players. How about ask the pass rushers from the opposite team how it is going against Penei Sewell, because the players will tell you he's the best. Maybe you'll have a player here and there will say it's somebody else, but the players who are on the field going against Penei Sewell will tell you that. So that's part of his PR firm. How about the coaches? Part of his PR firm here. Coaches not just for the Detroit Lions, but around the NFL. Talk about Penei Sewell being a Hall of Famer, best tackle in football, outstanding player on and off the field. They love, you talk about the Lions coaches, you obviously, he's a leader of men. So it's not just the ferocity, but what he brings to the team of a leadership skill set. He's a 10 out of 10 right there. So the PR firm of the coaches in the NFL must be getting paid there, Mitchell. How about ask the front offices in the National Football League? They'll tell you Penei Sewell is the best or one of the best Hall of Fame surefire player. All the general managers and a lot of personnel who you don't even hear about, scouts and stuff like that, you'll never hear their names. They'll tell you how great Penei Sewell is as one of the best in football. You look at the statistics. They'll tell you how great Penei Sewell is. And here's a lesson, folks. You can't teach stupid. Just because he played in the NFL before doesn't mean he's actually smart. There's a lot of individuals out there that just say some ridiculous stuff, and I think it's for clicks or trying to get, in his case, probably get 15 minutes of fame, talking about how, Penei Sewell in a bad light. You always got to have somebody, you always get commentators that are always like that, right? They're just going to be the opposite of reality, so they get views, they get, accolades and stuff like that, and they get time on the air as they're getting right now, because otherwise it wouldn't be happening, right? Jahmyr Gibbs spoke to the media and already made a video about this, but I wanted to cover it again because now people are really starting to cover it after I did. He says, "I'm being split out. I guess like the way more than I was in the past 2 years," Gibbs told WKYZ. "That's good. That's going to be fun. I've been waiting on that. He wants to be more involved in it, and that's what he plans on doing." Jahmyr Gibbs last year, what did he do in receptions? Well, he had 52 receptions, 4 touchdowns in the air, 517 yards of average, and 14.2. He was getting a lot of love in the receiving area. That was just last year. Now, what makes this interesting, we look at the Lions offense here, and what's also going to help out Jahmyr Gibbs this year, especially in the pass game, is how well this offense is. Look at this, the weapons galore. The offensive line's still really good. Yeah, we lost Rag now. Really good, though. But St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, that just makes Jahmyr Gibbs, when he is on the outside, much better. And then you can have Sonic and Nichols on the field at the same time. So this is a big development here. And I expect, let's look back at his yards here. I expect all this to go up. Receptions, probably in the 70s. Touchdowns, I'd probably go 6. Yards, I'd get in the 700s. And the average doesn't really matter. It's a little bit different, you know. But I think that this is going to be a good change. And for the Lions, the offense is going to be more dynamic. And that's what we want to see. How many yards do you think that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have in 2025? Do you think 500, 600, 700? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. SI.com talked about 5 training camp battles that the Detroit Lions fans must watch in 2025, and I concur with his list here. I went through it, and I agree with him. Let's go ahead and start it out. Number 5 is talking about the tight end 3 battle. I agree. The tight end 3 battle going on right now is going to be intriguing, right? Because you got players, you're returning players like Shane Zylstra, who is really good in a sense as the wide receiver, right? The wide receiver tight end, he's going to get it out there. But then you got Kenny Yabua, who the Detroit Lions picked up in free agency. He's more of the physical, the blocker. He could do and really help out the Lions in the run game. So who's going to win that? That's going to be a fun one to watch. Edge. Now we know who's going to be edge 2. It's going to be Marcus Davenport. The rest of that stuff would be... Rest of that for the edge position, we more talk about can he stay healthy, but how about the rest of the edges on this team? There's a lot of battles that's going to be taking place on this defensive line for the rest of the positions, right? You got a ton, and that's what's really good, at least for preseason and to watch these battles, right? That's fun to watch it. Joshua Pascal, Mitchell Gude, right? You have... Now, Levi Muzarick is interior, but he does play in the outside just a little bit. You got Marcus Davenport, Al-Qadim Mohammed, Ahmed Hassanin. So who's going to get that opposite side? Yet to find that out. That's going to be really fun to watch. Backup quarterback position, number 3 here. I concur. I think it's more Hendon Hooker versus Hendon Hooker. And if Hendon Hooker doesn't beat Hendon Hooker, that they could potentially look for another quarterback before the start of Week 1. And by the way, Teddy Bridgewater getting suspended is ridiculous. Just want to throw it out there. But Hendon Hooker here, he's going to have all the opportunity in the world. We got preseason, 4 of them, Hall of Fame game. He's going to be featured in these. He's going to be able to try to run this offense. He's going to be given a lot of opportunity. We'll just put it like that. I think he will win the opportunity. He'll win the job. But I do agree with SI. Offensive guard number 2, abso-freaking-lutely. We don't know exactly who's going to be on this offensive line, you know, where they're going to be at. Christian Mahogany is going to get a spot locked down. I know that for a fact. He's going to be in there, right? But what about the rest? Not even just the starters, too. You got the Miles Fraziers, the Kayode Osikas, the Dan Skippers of the world, Giovanni Manuz. So, guard, even though Skipper's not in there, it's the rest of the offensive line. It's going to be fun to watch. But guard is a big one. It is. How about center? Number 1, I concur. Foley center is absolutely the number 1 camp battle that's taking place. Tate Ratledge, Graham Glasgow. Who is going to win that battle? I have no idea, but all eyes on center. All eyes are going to be there, and best believe we're going to be doing updates on this channel quite a bit here, talking about these camp battles. We're going to be doing a lot of that, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, because camp's coming up, and we're going to be doing daily updates in training camp. It will be 2 videos a day, 100%. I don't care how my back is, got to do it. Let's go ahead and talk about what I think, too, when it comes to the Lions. It's talking about the Lions wide receivers and talking about the Lions passing game and how it's going to be great this year. And I agree. I think the Lions pass game is going to be amazing this year. You got St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Tim Patrick, Isaac Tesla, Khalif Raymond. That is ridiculous, 1 through 5. I think the Lions all around may have the best depth at wide receiver in football. I do, and I was reading articles on that, of the 1, 2, 3. It's just the future of the Lions wide receiver. You look at St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and Isaac Tesla. Holy smokes, they're young, and these guys just the foundation is there for the Detroit Lions wide receivers, and the strength of this team could really be in the pass game, and that's why it's important to have that good offensive line to get Jared Goff that time. But for the Lions wide receivers, the outlook is amazing. I think the outlook is outstanding. I think the Lions have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the game right now. It's crazy how quickly that changes from year to year and how well we develop these young players, but the outlook is looking good. And tomorrow we're going to start getting some training camp updates as the rookies do come in, and we're going to be doing updates daily on this channel. Hit that notification bell. With that said, folks, adios.